Hey guys, welcome to a replay analysis where we're watching a diamond player who played against me. Oh my god. And this is going to be a nice ZVT. He's playing against my Terran. And yeah, there was one special thing about this match, though, that makes this match a little bit weird. Is this is like a viewer game where Isosceles, or rather Dr. Dark Knight, was like, "Hey, Vibe, let's do a fucking show match." And there was like a for some reason my brain's stuck on the word failsafe, but that's not the word I'm trying to use here. There was like a side thing to this series, to this match, and it was that the Terran was at a 60% handicap and the Zerg was at 100%. So it was actually me playing, but I was on 60%. The stipulation, yeah, there you go. I was at a 60% handicap and the Zerg is at 100%, but this is Diamond versus GM. So the 60% handicap kind of balances it a bit. It was actually a pretty good game. We like literally just played it, and now I'm doing a replay analysis from his perspective. So buckle up, guys. It's interesting. And he says this because he got Zerg 3 times because I played him 3 times. And I ended up getting all 3 races, and then he got Zerg every time. So he's like, fuck. Because we were playing random versus random. And he wanted to get more races, but he never got a different race than Zerg. Anyways. And he's actually a Protoss main, to be fair. Alright. Isosceles. You're doing mostly fine. If you're going to go for a hatchery the way you did, though, you should just go for a 17 hatch. If you're going to go for a 16 hatch, you should pull the drone off the middle line at 180, not 230. But either way, it's not the biggest of deals. It's not the biggest of deals. Everything else is fine so far, what you're doing. Your build looks like a normal Speedling expand. You scouted up the barracks, you scouted the command center, you scouted the Reaper. Everything looks great. I would say you probably could have left the Overlord down there a little bit longer just to see if I rushed a really fast reactor factory right after the Reaper, or if I would have made a Marine. Because if you see that the barracks starts flashing lights after the Reaper pops out and an add-on is not being started, then you know that he's making a Marine before going into any type of a additional add-on to like support a different building or something. It just means that you have more time to react to Hellions and shit like that. So you can like delay your lings a little bit, which means you can be greedier. You lost the drone. Gotta be careful. Definitely make 4 lings when your pool's done. When you start 2 queens, that way that doesn't happen. So you can push the Reaper away so he can't just sit there fucking plowing a drone. And that way you can also scout. Your third base, is that off, dude? Is that off? No? The hatch is really late. The hatch is pretty late. But for some reason I'm like, is it like off position? Seems like it's far. But I don't know, maybe I'm crazy. I feel like it's probably fine. Yeah, no, it's fine. It looks fine. It's like the same as this. You're fine. No, hatchery definitely kind of late. If you want to take a third base against... also, you didn't ever take off gas. That's a big problem. If you're going to take a third base against Terran, ideally, you want to take your third base somewhere between 27 to 30 supply. And you should also not mine as much gas as you did. Another thing about Zerg is the only reason, if you're going to go for a Speedling expand to a third base... There's only 2 fucking upgrade, or you didn't even start any upgrades. There's only 2 things you should do with early gas, early game, before you have a fully saturated natural mineral line. So you mine gas to 100 initially. That's totally fine. And you get zergling speed. That's great. You could then, however, take off 1 or 2 drones. I would recommend not taking off all 3 because it's nice to like slowly build your gas up. Because the way it paces out is if you leave 1 drone on gas and then you go back to making drones at that point, once you start zergling speed, it paces you to a really nice layer timing. Because then you get 100 gas in the bank like around the time when you're ready to saturate this gas again and this space is fully saturated to take your layer or whatever you want to do. Another thing you could do is if you wanted to leave 3 drones on the gas, you could do that up to 200 gas, but then fucking stop. Because then you could get Overlord speed to scout the base. And with Overlords, if you really wanted to do that, that's also fine. It's more a safe version of an opener for Zerg because you get more like of an exact read on the builds. But if you just mine gas with 3 drones the entire time and you just let gas pool and bank in your bank account, that sucks because that means you can't make like for instance your third base is delayed as fuck because of that, because you mined less resources and you're just wasting money mining this for so long because these drones could have been mining minerals for a lot longer. It's a really bad opener for that. And now you're rushing a layer before even having link speed or roach speed. So this is really risky because you don't know if I'm going Hellions or not. And if I showed up at your base right now with like 4 Hellions and a Reaper, I could kill probably all your drones at your natural. So that's scary for you.
Hey, they're attacking our base.
Luckily for you, we're not doing that. But you had no idea if I was going to do that or not. So that, yeah. Pretty scary. You gotta have at least some... Like, Lings are... If you want to play a standard game, and you want to take a gas as early as you did, it's a... Just understand this, okay? You gotta understand this. If you're going to take really early gas that is designed for an all-in, if you're going to go Roach Warren, and you didn't do that, which is fine. You went for like a third base and shit like that. And you also didn't rush the Roach Warren either. You made it later. You made the Roach Warren when you had like 150 gas. That's when you started the Roach Warren. But if you're going to make an early gas, that is a speedling opener. If you're going to skip lings altogether, fucking delay your gas until you have like 30 supply or like 28 supply. And then take double gas and go roaches off of a higher drone count. Because you'll be taking a double gas when you have a fully saturated main and when your natural has like 12 drones on it. And then you're like still making drones when you start the Roach Warren and double gas. So it's like a gasless opener. Because if you're not making lings, period, you might as well, and you're just going to go straight roaches anyways. Your Roach Warren timing would be about the same either way as it was this game. But if your gas was more delayed, you could have had more drones and a faster third. You would have had just a better opener in terms of economy. And you would have had more queens too. The whole point that you're mining the gas like this is fucking really just slowing you down. When do your roaches come out with a delayed gas? Like after 4 minutes. Which is why when you build the Roach Warren, you build the Roach Warren in the doorway of your natural and you build 2 Evos next to it with creep spread. So that you can wall off your natural and a queen can be in the doorway. So you can't have a Hellion run by fuck you over. Because the trade-off there is you're not making lings. Instead, you're making queens. And you're basing everything off of queens and fast fucking drones. Which means you can make queens even off your main base. So you can like really make queens like fast. Super fast. Until you're ready to make a layer.
You made another queen. Nice.
But yeah, this build is just like, you just did something really risky early game. Like, I could have punished you like crazy for if I harassed you. Like, before your roaches were out.
You made another queen. Nice.
And you're just going Roach Ravager, and you're not scouting me. This is kind of scary too, because if I showed up at your base right now with like a Liberator, and then just like flew in the back of your base and like set up right there, and like siege the mineral line, this could be scary for you. You could kill it with Corrosive Bile, but at the same time, like, okay, so you actually could deal with Liberator with Corrosive Bile, let's be real. But what if it was a Banshee? That could be a problem for you again. If I had like Cloak Banshee going in your base, this could kill so many fucking drones because you have no knowledge of if I even made a starport, and you have no spore, you have nothing, no detection. You don't even have enough queens to deal with Banshee. If there's a standard build Terrans do right now, a lot, and it's a double Cloak Banshee opener with Hellions, and if I did that build to you, with the way you played this game, I would kill so many fucking drones. Because you have no preparation in any way for a potential starport opener. And because you don't have enough queens either. You have 4 queens with like a roach opener. I could actually, you have 5 actually, but still, scary. And yeah, battlecruiser would kill you as well right now. A battlecruiser, if this was a battlecruiser opener, a battlecruiser teleports in your base just after 6 minutes, like 6:10, 6:15. If a BC was in your base right now, you would get fucked, like from like a normal Terran. You gotta really be careful about scouting and seeing the starports or not.
Our army be scrapping.
You go for the planet. You go for the planetary, okay? You go for the planetary. You're kind of pushing into tanks a little bit. It's a little scary, a little bit brutal. And you end up losing a lot there. Now that's rough for you, because the reason why is because you're going roaches, and you're going roach ravager specifically, and you're fighting against mech. You've confirmed now it's mech because you just killed 2 Thors, and you know there's a bunch of tanks. You killed 1 tank and 2 Thors, but you just lost your entire army. And the thing that's scary about that is that roach ravager does not scale as well as mech does. So, and I now secured the 3rd, so now I have time to continue to build up my tank count against your roach ravager count, and this is really bad for roach ravager. So I would say, if I were you, the best thing you could do would be to get off of roaches immediately and do something else right now. And I think the best unit you could make right now would be fucking Swarm Host. It's easy to use, and you could actually, like, instead of you losing roaches to kill my tanks, you could send Locust at my tanks and kill off like 3 or 4 tanks, and then just wait for the next cooldown of Locust to be ready again. Meanwhile, you're building up more units over time of whatever you want to make. Roach Ravager is kind of risky, because you're just going to run into tank fire like that and lose a bunch of Roach Ravager. Mutas would be scary too right now, because I could just make Thors and kill your Mutas. Like, Widow Mines and Thors could completely shut down all of your Spire units right now, and it's too early in the game for you to go Broodlords. And even if you did go Broodlord and you had nothing else to cover it, Thors could kill you. But yeah, like, Mutas won't really work very well right now, unless you went like, unless you caught me only having tanks and you went Mutas. That might work, but at the same time, I have turrets in my base, because there's a threat if I make tanks that I could die to Mutas, so there are turrets in addition now. So there is a little bit of cover there too. But yeah, the roach investment, you know what this tells me as a Terran player? It tells me that the more roaches and ravagers you make, even if you do go Muta, you're going to have less Muta than you would ideally want, because you're wasting so much fucking resources on these units right here. You keep making so much roach ravager, and it's going to make your Muta count weaker when it eventually comes, if you go Muta. Stormhost wouldn't die, and they would allow your Muta to be really strong. Swarmhost would be super nice. Or you could go like Swarmhost Hydra or something. Your crib spread's pretty good.
Oh my gosh, they're attacking our creep swimmers.
Your income is pretty good. You have a lot of drones.
Mineral field depleted.
Nice attempt at a multi-prong, but not quite enough to kill it. And then you hit the main base. The main base attack was definitely a lot better. You killed like 12 SCVs in my main. And then you just lost a fuck. That's what I'm talking about, right? The Mutas are not a good choice right now either, because why? You wasted so much resources on Roach Ravager, and those Thors just pounded your ass in the base. I mean, you ran away as you lost so much, and now you've lost so much resources here. So that's brutal. What's the move? If not to lose units on the 3rd, just keep you're off at 4th. Just make fucking Swarmos and don't be wasteful. That's what the move is. If you go Roach Ravager and you play against someone who's going tanks, the only way that would work is if you make sure for a fact you stay out of range of the tanks and the high ground, and you could kill the tanks on the low ground only, and then you just kill the fucking orbital, or the planetary. And the way you can kill the planetary if you go Roach Ravager is if there's no tanks pounding you the entire time you engage, engage it from the side of the command center that is away from the other tanks, the deeper tank line. And then whenever you Corrosive Bile, you do not Corrosive Bile the center of the command center. You Corrosive Bile like this. Bile, 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 bile. If you have rapid fire, you could literally rapid fire a semicircle around the edge of the hatch, around the edge of the command center. Or you could just literally manually cast it yourself and semicircle the wherever the SCVs are. Because here's the thing: if you Corrosive Bile barely on the command center right there, or directly in the center, it does the same damage either way. If the unit touches the corrosive, or if the building touches a Corrosive Bile, it does 60 damage. It does not matter where it hits it. It's not like real physics in real life where the center is going to do more damage than the outside. So if you just hit the command center with it, it hits it either way. But if you hit the command center in a way where you could also hit an SCV repairing it at the same time, it does two things for you. If the Terran player does not pull SCVs off the command center, you not only kill all the SCVs repairing it, which ends the repair and kills all the SCVs, but you also damage the command center for the exact same amount of damage anyways. Or if the Terran player is good at micro, and you Corrosive Bile the border of the planetary, you still damage the planetary, and the Terran will pull off the command center to stop repairing, so he doesn't get hit by biles. But now if he's not repairing it, it's taking 100% damage and not being repaired through it, and you might just burst it before it gets repaired again. And it might just not be repaired at all and just die. So, missed opportunity there, for sure. Missed opportunity for you right there, my friend.
Mutation complete. The minerals have
Now, this muta attack is much bigger than the first one because you've taken a lot of time to make a lot more mutas, and this one's a lot more formidable and a lot more threatening. And this is, I think, the way you're using this one so far is fine. You let your shit magic box, and then you try to magic box Thors. It worked out. You kind of owned my main base right there for a little bit. You magic box my other Thors again. Now I'm going to tell you right now. I want to just let you know something. If this was 100% versus 100%, that would have looked a lot different though, because you can't take negative fights repeatedly and then win suddenly later on. Doesn't work that way. But the way you the concept and the way you microed it was right. But your the way you had about like 24 mutas engage 5 Thors and turrets, that would not work well for you if this was 100% handicap. So that was scary. Like it would be.
Your forces are under attack. Mineral field depleted.
That was clever. That was cute. I was literally wondering where that BC went. I was like, how did it die? The fuck did my BC go? That was cute. Nice job. Corrosive Biling my BC right as the teleport went off. However, as Zerg, this is actually it's kind of funny because this is what 99% of Zerg players do on ladder. This is what 99% of Zerg players do on ladder. They just go fucking Roach Ravager all the game. And this composition at this point in the game is god awful. It's so bad. You know what it's like? Imagine if your kitchen had a fire, and the way the fire started was a paper towel was laying on top of the on like the top of the countertop, and like the edge of the paper towel was touching a burner on top of the stove. And then it like lit the edge of the paper towel on fire, and the paper towel started lighting on fire, and you had a glass of water, and you went, "Oh shit." And you put the glass of water on the paper towel, and then you doused the flame, and it went out. That's what Roach Ravager's like. It's like a glass of water. You can like douse the flame early on. But Roach Ravager is like a glass of water, and it doesn't change. It's still a glass of water, but now, at this stage of the game, imagine if that paper towel didn't go out, and the paper towel rolled off the countertop, and then the flame literally went all the way across the paper towel roll, all the way down to the floor, and on the floor there was gasoline. Someone like a mechanic walked through your kitchen, and he dropped gasoline all over the floor. And now your whole fucking kitchen floor, as soon as the paper towel flame, it's like a wick, it reaches the fucking floor, it just lights the entire floor on fire. And now you got a fucking glass of water, and you pour a glass of water on the floor, and it doesn't do anything. And you're like, What the fuck? Okay. What do I do now? Well, guess what? You invested into a glass of water instead of getting a fire extinguisher. You're fucked. You might want to get out of the house now. It's like GGing. You've lost this match. You're done. It's over. If you're still investing into Roach Ravager when you have no point to be going Roach Ravager anymore, you are fucking throwing your resources in the trash. This is a waste of your money. Like, at this point, these units are going to just continuously... Like, that was actually... I'm not going to lie. That actually did more than I thought it would. Again, 60%, right? It should not have broken that, but... If you keep making Roach Ravager, but you're still going Roach Ravager. This unit composition is expired now. It is genuinely expired. It's going to only get worse as time goes on. And if you didn't make so much fucking Roach Ravager, you could have more Corruptor and more Muta, and you could actually overpower my BCs a lot better. Stuff like that. Like, look at that. Like, just take a look at this. Look at the effectiveness of this Roach Ravager army. Like, earlier, it was getting some done, like a little bit done here and there. But let's see what this army does. This army right here is worth, Roach-wise, that's 32 supply. 32 supply right there. Plus 18. This is 50 supply, sorry. 50. This is a 50 fucking supply army right here. Okay? 50 supply. Let's watch. Again, that's 60%, and you just lost 50 supply to kill 6. Roach Ravager is expired. It doesn't work anymore. It will not work anymore. So if you keep making it, you're throwing the game in the trash.
Mineral field depleted.
You need to make something better. Muta Corruptor makes more sense, but I'm not gonna lie. The Muta is kind of weird. You'd rather probably just go pure Corruptor at this point if I'm going BCs. The Broodlord's a little weird because Broodlords can get fucked by so many things. Broodlords are like 2016 or 2000. Really, Broodlords are really 2012. That unit kind of sucks nowadays. It's really bad. It just doesn't really like. It's not the worst unit, but it definitely has a lot of hard counters. And if you're fighting against mass BCs and you're whittling down your Corruptor count to make Broodlords, you're gonna have a hard time dealing with BCs again. And then if you also pair that with making Infestors are great, that's a good choice. But if you make more Roach Ravager again, which I think you do eventually, it's just wasting your gas again. Like, look at the only reason why you're taking such a bad fight right now, as you can see, look at the resources. Again, our units are so fucking weak, but we're taking great trades here, and it's because you just don't have enough stuff. You're not respecting the BCs enough.
Mineral field
And then do you make more? You make Zerglings this time. Zerglings are totally fine. I don't mind that you make Zerglings. And the reason why I don't mind that you make Zerglings is because your Zerglings shouldn't be in the army fight. They should be counterattacking bases. You should be killing economy with Zerglings.
A creep tumor is under attack. The minerals have up and gone.
Well, like this right here, that was not how you want to use Zerglings. If you're going to use Zerglings as part of your Death Ball, Lings are not Death Ball. Roach Ravager is not Death Ball. Those units suck if you add them into a Death Ball. Those units are counterattack units. And the reason why Roach Ravager sucks is because it takes away from your Death Ball because it costs gas. Lings don't cost gas. So Lings are not going to take away from your Death Ball at all because Death Ball is very gas demanding. So Lings are fine if you just use them to like counter. Like what if you would have used your Lings instead of using them like this right here? Watch this. What if instead of doing this with your Lings, you run into all my BCs, a Thor, and a planetary. The Thor hasn't even died yet. The Thor just now died at the cost of like 100 Zerglings dying. That's a lot of Ling death. But imagine if those Lings were not part of your Death Ball and they went like this. right? Counterattacking. Ling counterattacks are totally fine. Ling Death Ball, bad. And now you're fighting against Widowmine and Battlecruiser. And I would say, honestly, you really need... Corruptors work really well here. Infestors would help a lot because you could fungal growth the Widowmines. Because when a Widowmine is fungaled, it cannot burrow. It's stuck, like not being able to burrow. It just walks around super slow. It can't rotate its form. Also, just like if you fungal growth a Widowmine that is burrowed, it cannot up burrow if you catch it that way. And then it just eats fucking damage from the fungal. And it only takes 3 fungals. Really, 2 fungals because I have a handicap here. 2 fungals kills a Widowmine in this game right now. Because I only have 54 hit point Widowmines. So that would be... Infestors would be a great counter to Widowmines. And then Corruptors would be a great counter to BCs. So the fact that you're still making Corruptors is not bad. It's a good army comp. But you have to use Infestors here. And I think the mistake you made was that you tried to use the Infestors to kill the BCs, and it's not how it should be. The Infestors should have killed the Widowmines instead. Be that way, because your Corruptors will beat my BCs if my Widowmines cannot help my BCs. But the only reason why your Corruptors can't beat my BCs is because every time you try to fight my BCs, I burrow fucking 10 Widowmines in my face, and you can't engage now. And Widowmine fucking destroys clumped up units because it splashes everything in the area for 40 damage, and then it hits the main target for like 140. So it fucking owns. And Corruptors only have 200 hit points. So if 5 Widowmines go off, every one of your Corruptors is going to live with 1 hit point. And the other reason why that happens like that is because their units regenerate. So if 6 Widowmines go off, every Corruptor dies. If 5 go off, all Corruptors have 1 hit point, and then BCs will just farm them fucking instantly, and they'll all die. Anyways. Lings don't really work either, because all I have to do to counter that is up burrow my Widowmines and my BCs kill your Lings. To be fair, what I should have done there is I should have burrowed, and then you pulled your Corruptors away. I should have re-up burrowed my Widowmines. I shouldn't have let them go off. Like, I should have up burrowed all but 1. And then 1 Widowmine AoE a lot of the Lings. Kind of like that right there. But like right here, this is not how you want to use Infestors. You want to use them to 100% kill my Widowmines. Because now that you're not dealing with my Widowmines, your fungal growth isn't going to do much to the BCs. Sure, I can't teleport right now, but you're timid anyways to engage me because my Widowmines are right there and you don't know the cooldown because they're invisible for you. Right? You actually have no idea what the cooldown on these fucking things are. So, and also, the thing is too, is if you Neural Parasite me, I could actually Yamato Cannon you. Yamato Cannon does not break to Neural Parasite. It'll still go off. But a teleport would break. So if I tried to teleport right now, and if I was a bad Terran player and I was like, teleport, I'm freaking out, I would probably teleport only half my BCs, and then the ones that are fungled would get overpowered and they would die. But if I'm not dumb, I'll just Yamato Cannon all your Infestors, and the reason why that makes sense is because I have more BCs than you have Infestors, so I can 100% Yamato all of them. There's no leftovers there where I will get stuck again. And as soon as all your Infestors are dead, I can teleport away then, and nothing will stop me. If I have to teleport away. So now, you have a problem again. And you're constantly being zoned out by these Widowmines, and you're taking so much damage in your base as a result of it. And now you're getting multi-pronged by more Terran on the other side. And now there's more Widowmines coming over to like zone you out, and you're once again being zoned out by Widowmines. You need to fungal growth the Widowmines. Okay, but like right there, you fungal growth the Widowmines way too fast. Because fungal growth damage does not stack, it refreshes. So if I have a fungal growth, and my fungal growth does 30 damage over 3 seconds, which equates to 10 damage a second. If I fungal growth the first time, and then I fungal growth again only when only 1 second has passed on my first fungal, it'll make the overall fungal last for 4 seconds, doing 10 damage a second. Because it refreshes it with a brand new fungal that starts with 3, 2, 1 over. There's no stacking, none of that shit. So what you'd want to do is you want to go 3, 2, 1 fungal, 3, 2, 1. That's a dead Widow Mine. So you fungled way too close together, which is why my Widow Mines are still alive right there. And now you're getting multi-pronged by BCs all over the place, and Widow Mines are literally everywhere all over your army. They're scattered and, you know, doing shit like that to you, where shit is just kind of falling apart. And now you don't have enough energy either to fungal anymore. So, nice try. We got you though. We even though we have a 60% handicap, we got you with that multitask. We overloaded you. The vibu overload. That's what it is. But yeah. Anyways, Dr. Dark Knight, overall good try. If you made Swarm Host, you would have made my life a lot harder. Or if you would have Corrosive biled properly on the command centers, you would have made my life a lot harder. Either one of those would have probably won you the game, I think. Probably. With the way I played it out as well. Because I was very susceptible to you abusing me in those ways. This game, if you would have done that early. And if you would have set up a better economy and didn't waste so much time mining so much gas that you didn't need right away. If you fixed your economy early and you properly used Corrosive Bile on planetaries with the repair shit, and you went Swarm Host and then you went Corruptor, 100% chance I would have lost this game. I will tell you that right now. There's no fucking way I would have beat you on a 60% handicap. I would have, even though you're Diamond and I'm GM, I would have fucking lost if you would have done that. Alas, maybe next time. But thanks for watching, everybody that watched this. Hope you guys learned something maybe. And until next time, good luck in your own games. How do handicaps work? It just nerfs your health bar. So if I say I have a 60% handicap, it means I am missing 40% of my hit points on everything I have. Buildings and units. So as you can see, my a command center has 900 health, not 1500. A depot has 240, not 400. A SCV has 27, not 45. It doesn't decrease attack, armor, attack speed, move speed, nothing like that. Does nothing else. It's just hit points. It's only hit points. That's it. Just hit points. Everything else is normal, which is why air units and range units and spellcasters are probably the only way you'll win in a situation like this, because you can still do full damage.
Thanks for the analysis. Very appreciated.
Yo.
Much love, my dude.
Hell yeah. Thanks for doing thanks for being supportive as well yourself. Dr. Dark Knight, appreciate the bits and everything else, man, all the subs and all that stuff. And thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next analysis, coaching lesson, whatever video you want to watch. So until then, good luck in your own games, and I'll see you next time. Peace, guys.